I'm Ian Rush and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the uncensored match build-up for Liverpool away at Crystal Palace on Sunday. Aubrey and John is here. We're a little bit light on numbers because Liverpool as a city is ravaged by illness, like outbreak at the moment. Everyone, Facebook feeds, Twitter feeds are just basically everyone's ill. People are just dropping left, right and centre. So I hope you bear with us. But should be a good build-up because we just beat Man City 3-0, so we're buoyed with confidence. But we are going to Crystal Palace, who are traditionally not traditionally, but recently a bogey team for us, and Pardew, who I don't think anyone really likes.
No one likes him.
Not yet.
I'm not even sure he likes himself.
I sincerely, I think he has moments where he definitely doubts himself. So yeah, going to Selhurst Park, playing Palace.
Tough game, isn't it, really? I mean, the one in, was it 13-14, when we were 3-0 up and then ended up 3-3, that sort of sums up our games against Palace. We either batter them or they just go wild, and it's, you know, a really, really difficult game for us. And they've got players coming back from injury now. They were very good earlier in the season and then have been rubbish.
They've been terrible. We've done a stat attack where you can find out some more stats in the form, but they are 19th in the form guide at the moment. They've took 2 points from their last 5 games. And at home, they're even worse. They've lost their last 4 at home. And it's smart even more because it's against London clubs. I think Watford, Spurs, Chelsea and Bournemouth have won in the last 4 games there. Yeah. So it shouldn't be, which is so Liverpool,
because
isn't
it's
it?
Us, you know.
Exactly.
Because they've now got Balassi back after injury. Cabaye's playing. They've got, what's his name, up front?
Zaha and Wickham and...
Wickham is now scoring goals. He scored 4 in 2 games, hasn't he? And just typical that they hit some kind of form again when they play us.
Yeah.
We should be able to take them, but it's Palace, so you just don't know.
Well,
we often say it depends on what Liverpool team turn up. In this case, it depends on what Palace team turn up.
Exactly, yeah, because they've had our number in recent seasons. You go back to the 13-14 season, which you mentioned there, no one really wants to remember that. But we were 3-0 up when we ended up drawing that game 3-3. The next season we went there and Neil Warnock, they beat 3-1, they outplayed us, and come on, when you're getting outplayed by a Neil Warnock team, you know it's really bad. They beat us 3-1 at Anfield in Gerrard's last ever game at Anfield.
Yeah, and they just beat us this season.
And the one game that Klopp famously said it still gives him nightmares when he asked a few games into it, I think it was 10 games into his tenure, they said, well, you know, apart from that fucking Palace game, which I keep having nightmares about. So they are really bad for us if they've got our number, however it is we play. So hopefully...
I mean, I think that quote from Klopp may give some kind of indication of how he's going to face this game. I suspect that he'll have their number.
Yeah. And
we will play a lot different than...
The one thing that we've noticed about Klopp is we've lost some games. Of course, we've lost some games. But when he's managed against that team again, we've definitely improved.
Yeah.
And he learns from every experience he has with managing them. And with him coming out, and they beat us at home, they beat us 2-1, he's come out and said it gives him nightmares. He still wakes up in the night having nightmares about it. That's a game that he doesn't feel we should have lost. That's a game that he is angry about the way it went. This is a game I think he wants to rectify. And with them being in their downward form, I know what you're saying about the players returning, but ultimately we should be beating Crystal Palace anyway if we believe who we are. But also with that added bite of coming off of a good win against Man City and wanting to get a little bit personal in there. It should be personal to a lot of those players, and with the recent defeat it should be personal to Klopp. Hopefully he will get them up for it and hopefully they can play to a better performance.
The other significant thing, and he's pointed that out as well, is that now we're only in 2 tournaments. We're not playing 2 games every week. We are getting a chance, you know, to spend time with the players ahead of a game and not just, you know, resting ahead of one, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm hoping that we'll start to see a lot more consistency from the players.
Definitely.
And, you know, starting with Palace.
Yeah, well, when he was talking about the run of games and when he was saying that when we were playing it across 4 competitions, and he was, what training? He said, well, what training? We basically just recover and then go again. now that it's eased off, we are only in 2 competitions, the games are more spaced out. We can actually start to see the training ground again. It's something that you said in the subscriber show with the final word to Man City. He's come out with a quote and saying he needs, like, implied that he needs a pre-season with Benteke to get him to buy into his philosophy. I think he wants time with these players, and he's been denied that time because we've been playing games pretty much thick and fast since he's come in.
It's a phenomenal amount of games he's played. He was playing every 3 days, and it was just he must have wondered what the hell had happened. You know?
Yeah, be like getting hit by a train.
You know, now we have, you know, we've still got, over the next couple of weeks, we've got United games in midweek, so it's not easing off that much. But you know, it is. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and he's got a lovely philosophy on it, Klopp, from what I've read about him, saying that, you know, basically, this is where we start in the league. This is our starting point for the rest of the season. And although it's not a great starting point because we haven't done all that well, we've got what's to come, you know. And he's sort of basically saying, you know, we're going to, the old cliche, we're going to take each game as it comes. But I sort of sense, like he feels they've turned the corner.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and obviously we'll find out whether that's true at Palace, I think.
Yeah, well, that's it. Traditionally, not just under Klopp, recent years, Liverpool, but definitely under Klopp, we've followed a really good performance with a stinker, with a bad performance, and we've followed, the pattern has gone where we've had a really high intensity, where the gegenpress has been at full effect. You can see every player on that pitch has bought into it, and they've done it so well away at away at City, away at Chelsea. We've then gone and played a team, and it's just either been a team who's parked the bus around Anfield and we've struggled to break them down, or we've gone away to Watford and we've gone away to Newcastle, which both scream away to Palace to me. They're very similar type of propositions, and it's really fell flat. Yeah. So this is a really big test for this Klopp team. Of mentality, ultimately, it may not have much bearing on anything in the league for Palace and for us.
I get the impression that Klopp still thinks that anything's possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't think we can win the league, but I still think he thinks we can surprise people at where we finish, because there's a lot of points, there's 30-odd points to play for.
Yeah.
You know, you can really do some damage in that league if you go on a run of winning games.
Yeah,
and he's now in a position, I think, where you know that he's going to bring in fresh legs, but you're not thinking, oh God, he's going to bring in him or whatever. You're thinking, well, yeah, you know, this is great. You know, because I think he's almost got 2 teams now. You know, and we talked in the final word show about how he can keep some players, which are the steady ones and the energy, and then fiddle around with his forward players, because he's got half a dozen who you can interchange. And, you know, we'll start to see the benefits of that now. You know,
definitely. And I think what's happened, we were playing that amount of games, but we also had a terrible injury crisis. At one point we had 13 players injured. We're starting to see those players come back. Even like Joe Allen came on against
Skrtel on the bench against City.
Against City, Joe Allen came on against and he had good form before he unfortunately got injured. And where I like that Joe Allen, before Klopp or before recently, he was getting played as part of that too. He's now more favourite.
He's got licence to roam, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's got the energy. That's the best thing. He's got to do that, and he fully commits into that. So with that being said, what changes do you imagine he'll make for this game?
I think he'll keep his engine room the same, and he might bring in Lucas possibly, but he may not be fit. But I think Chan, Henderson, and Milner look like his steady Eddie 3 in the middle now. I don't think Flanagan will play. I think he'll be rested, and that means Moreno will come back in, you know, whether you like him or not. I think he's basically our first choice left back for the rest of this season anyway, so I think he'll come back in. And then I do think he'll change I think Sturridge and Coutinho will come back. I think probably Firmino will stay on the pitch as well.
So
Lallana will drop to the bench. He probably needs the rest anyway after that performance against City, but he was phenomenal against City. So you know, there's an argument to say, well, you know, now he's hit that level, keep him in. But
that's it, and I think that's the adage isn't it, you don't change a winning team in football, but I think that adage was born from a time when it was a lot less physical a game, and you didn't play the games as thick and fast. We are playing Wednesday and then Sunday, so it is less recuperation time than the week, and the amount of effort. Like there's a way of phrasing it, isn't he? There's rotation or dropping. He's not dropping Milner. If Milner comes out, he's not dropping Lallana. He's not dropping Firmino because they were absolutely fantastic against Man City and Origi. Yeah. It's rotating in to have the freshness and to have the legs to do the game that he's going to want them to do.
Choosing your squad properly, isn't it? That's what it is. You've got a squad. It is a squad game now, whatever it is. I mean, the days when Shankly won the league with the same 11 players in every game over 42 games, they're long gone. You need a squad and you need to use it judiciously, to get the best out of your players.
Definitely.
And Sturridge should be well rested, a week on. Coutinho the same, and they really are game winners, aren't they?
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that they didn't play against City, they're the guys you expect to score the goals and create the goals. And
it's exciting the fact that you've got potentially Phil Coutinho and Daniel Sturridge, who are our best two players, to come into a team that did so well, and you're bringing them in, and you've got options. And I think the one thing that the performance the other night did was it made that choice hard. It made that choice hard to say, Divock, you're coming out.
The beauty of the way we are at the moment, though, Origi won't feel slighted if he's not playing. He knows he's not the first choice. No matter how well he played, he knows his time is in the future. So he'll happily sit on the bench thinking, I might get a run later on. Lallana's slightly different because he's just put in probably his best performance for Liverpool. And I'm sure if Klopp decides to leave him out, he will be saying to him, you ran yourself ragged, now it's your turn to recover. We've got a game against United further on next week.
And you're in my plans.
And so
I'd be tempted to start Lallana just because of how well he played the other day, and not he added
and not leave Firmino out.
Yeah, probably leave Firmino just because, or maybe James Milner, because Milner has had so much football and he's done as much running as Lallana and other as anyone in that team in recent weeks. Yeah. And I feel possibly it might be a little bit too gung ho to play Lallana, Coutinho, and Firmino behind either Origi or Sturridge, but I just think Lallana's got there. He's got to what we needed from him, which is end product on top of that work game. I think he would, even if it's subconsciously, take it as a slight, whereas I completely agree with your point of Divock. He's going to go, no, I did a good game, but I know Daniel's the main man.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to probably get 20 minutes, 25 minutes in this match.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure that those count. But it's exciting, and it's a good position to be in, isn't it, where we're actually talking about players who are decent to good players in decent to good form.
Yeah.
And having those options.
But it's interesting that we seem to know who the players are now. I think we all know that maybe Ibe is off the pace a bit.
Yeah.
Whereas earlier in the season I thought, oh God, he's got to break through now. He's coming good. But now that's not the case. But you look at Lallana and you think, yeah, he's a guy who has to be considered for every game. Firmino has to be considered. Coutinho, Sturridge, they're all players who will play games. Maybe not everyone, but and we said in the final word on the City, they can interchange now. And you don't know what position on the pitch they're playing. They can pop up anywhere.
Yeah, and it makes it, again, if we don't know what the positions are and we follow Liverpool, opposition managers, opposition players are going to be, and that's what we need. I think Palace are going to be resolute and solid, or they're going to try to be, and we need to have that fluidity and that running to get anything from that. So who do you think will be the influential, who's going to be the most influential player for Liverpool on Sunday?
I think it's going to be our central three again. Whether it's Chan, Henderson, and Milner, or one or other changed out for someone else. Lucas may be coming in, or as you say, Lallana in place of Milner. That we're coming up against their main strength, I think, in Palace is in their midfield. That they're full of running. And they'll give you a time, a game. So if you can control that area of the game, then those shots from Balassi, which always seem to go in against us.
Punching always seems to have a very good game against us, and Kabai's a class player.
And the other thing we need to do, of course, is because they've got Scott Dan, who's very good in the air. We really do need to make sure we're not giving stupid free kicks away around the penalty area, particularly at half-time. As half-time approaches, we do tend to have that tendency to give a foul away with seconds left.
Always. The traditional Lucas foul and yellow card has now become the traditional injury time in the first half free kick at our box, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, I actually like that. I'm going to go with Henderson. I think he will, hopefully, he's on his recovery. I thought he had his best game since he come back from injury against City, but was the worst of the midfielders. I think Chan and Milner and Lallana outshone him. I want him to step up again and to actually really go for it, and hopefully he can be. I don't think Chan's going to have. It'd be impossible for Chan to have as good a game as he did against City, against Palace. His rate will drop off. Yeah. But hopefully Henderson can step up and he can have a really good game in that centre mid, and he can boss that midfield for us, and we can win. Okay, so score prediction.
Well, with Palace, you never know, do you? It could be 3-3, or it can be 0-0. It's, they're one of those teams. I'm going to say 3-1 to us.
I have got 3-1, and I can prove it because it's in the stat attack, which was proved before this. I'm not just copying you, but I go over and watch the stat attack as well. My first time doing the stat attack. I'm not as slick as Paul, but it's all right. But yeah, 3-1. I think it's our turn to actually to do what they've done to us in the last few seasons.
They do concede goals, so I think we're capable of sticking the.
We just know that one is either Connor Wickham, because we struggle terribly with tall target men, or it is exactly what you've said. It is we're cruising 2-0 after a great first half performance, and we can see the free kick or corner.
Scott Dan header,
and it makes us really edgy, and hopefully Origi comes off the bench and scores or something. Yeah. So there we go. So that's our predictions. We're both predicting 3-1 wins. Hopefully we are right. We have done all the usual build-up. There are stat attacks, there's starting 11 predictions on the channel. There's going to be one of them. I don't know which one it is because I'm not editing this video. In the end card, so click through that and watch that. And hopefully see you back next time. Don't forget to comment below. Tell us what you think, who we should play, who we should rest, who should come in, who you think the man of the match, most important man of the match is going to be. Also tell us what your score predictions are. Give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I actually think one of them, even though they were the three best players on the pitch the other night, I think Milner, it's his chance to actually get a rest. So I think Phil comes back.